So that disappearing into the distance there is Middle Percy Island. Finally, we're leaving after the most fantastic weather window. It's still pretty good, but we want to get over here to Curlew Island. So we've decided to jump on this little breeze today. We really desperately wanted a nice flat sea for a change, so we've decided to go today, and the weather gods have helped us out. The breeze is up a little bit. We've got about 8 knots of breeze, 7 or 8 knots of breeze, nice angle, and we're trucking along doing 6 knots in 8 knots of breeze, so we're super happy. Got the lure out, having a bit of a fish as well, so life is good. We've got about, it's about 25 miles or something like that anyway. I didn't really look, but yeah, at this rate we've got 4 hours, something like that, of sailing, so very nice. And a bit of whale watching, Pumpkin reckons, is that right? Yeah, we've heard on the radio there's a few around. We've seen heaps lately, so I'm sure we'll bump into them somewhere. Should be good. Hopefully they'll be breaching right beside the boat, hey? I still want to see that one right beside the boat. That's beautiful, great sailing. This is the first time we've really kind of sailed a tight-ish angle. It's freeing up a little bit actually as we speak, but first time we've really gone fairly tight with this boat, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I'm loving those conditions, that's beautiful. 8 knots of breeze, 6 knots of boat speed, I'll take that. Should be a lovely day. Someone dropped a comment on one of my videos recently saying I never show any pictures of or footage of fixing stuff on board. Well, we've been having a bit of a problem with our autopilot, so I've been working away and I think I finally managed to fix it. So here you go. Here's what you do when your autopilot dies. Just tie it off to a cleat. I've got the wheel tied off that way, and then around here onto this one. Got it tied off down here. And so far in these light conditions, it's actually not doing too bad. Just got to tweak it a little bit, and I think it might save us a bit of hand steering for a few hours, so we'll see how that one works out. So here's our passage today. We're leaving Middle Percy Island here. We've got a little trip over to an island here called Curlew. So Curlew's this one here, and we're probably going to try and stop in on that bay on the eastern side there. It's supposed to be nor'westers blowing, so hopefully that'll be a nice spot. And we've got basically it's about 24 miles total trip, I think, something like that. We've done 2 or 3 here already, so yeah, shouldn't take us that long today. Should be a very pleasant day. Our sort of sailing, we're just saying how nice it is to have a trip where it's a nice flat ocean, sunny day, light breeze, but you're still doing the miles, you know. We're still doing our 6 knots here. You can see we've actually got a bit of tide with us too, so that bottom figures the speed through the water, that's the speed over the ground, so we've got like 1.5 knots of tide going with us, so that's very nice. That's what you want. How good's my autopilot going? Look at this. I've been going for about an hour, I haven't touched it. Wind's up and down a little bit, but it's just chugging along beautifully. The blue line's our course. The grey line's basically where we want to be going, from A to B, so yeah, sweet. They're saying it's just like sitting in the bay there at anchor, except we're moving. Beautiful conditions. Just watching a couple of whales breaching out the back. Just looking back over South Percy, and that's Middle Percy there. Been a fantastic stay. The weather window that we got here is just almost unheard of. We had something similar about 5 years ago, 2018. We went out to the Swain Reefs, and I'd booked 3 weeks off to do it, 2 years in advance of the trip, and we got like 8 days of under 10 knots of breeze. Very similar to what we've just had, and it was in June, I think, wasn't it, Sam? So not a common thing, but we just got very lucky. Starting to cloud over a little bit though. That wasn't on the program, but All happy days. It's about the tightest we've sailed this boat so far. I haven't really had too much stuff on the nose or tide reaching. No, it's going all right. Good numbers here. Sitting in the 6 knots with 8.2 knots of breeze. Take that any day. Champagne sailing today, Sam. Huh?
Yeah, all I need is some cold champagne.
Well, you know where it is? It's not cold.
I don't know if we've even got any.
Oh, yeah. We're getting very low on supplies, so we're working our way back towards Mackay, huh? We'll have...
For a restock.
Today's Thursday. Have Thursday night here and probably Friday night at Curlew. And then in the early hours of Saturday morning, it's supposed to be a southerly change coming through, so we may just get up when that comes through and go. We've got about 45 miles, something like that, up to Mackay from here, so yeah, we might jump on that and we get there early in the morning. Hopefully our Marina berth's empty and we can just jump straight in, but we'll give them a call and find out once we get some reception later. Crank Stinky up, Starlink, and make a couple of calls.
It's going across us. We need to turn. Shit. It's right there. Oh, we're gonna. Yeah, can you go starboard? Yep. I don't know, but. Oh, look! Far out. We nearly hit them. Oh my god! They just came up right in front of us. Oh gosh!
Hello? What are you doing there, guys?
Oh, the cat died.
Oh, look at this guy.
Oh my god! Cool. Look, she's coming up.
Well, that was pretty freaky, huh? Sam's been sitting down the leeward there, just watching the whales breaching off in the distance and whatnot. I've been up there mucking around with our rope tied on autopilot, and all of a sudden she's just spotted some right on the bow. Literally, we would have ran into them. They were just laying there on the surface, a mother and a baby. So I had to run back there, undo my knots quickly and luff up to windward, and we managed to just get around the top of them, and then they just swam down along the side and round the back of the boat. Very freaky, but very cool too.
They're just awesome creatures.
They are unbelievable up close. They were just chilling, those two. Well, I'm glad we didn't hit them, but man, that was
too close for comfort.
That was a bit too close for comfort. Okay, so you can see we're getting into our trip there now. We're a bit more than halfway, and you might notice up in front here I've just put there's a little red mark there. So that's actually a mark that's on the corner of one of the green zones. So because I'm trolling a lure, I just put a little mark there to remind myself that green zone's there and make sure that I don't go through it. I've got to make sure the green zone's down lower here, so I've just got to make sure we stay above that red mark, and then we're all good. So far so good. So we've still got about, well, it's saying 8.3 miles to go, but that's only to this little island here we've actually got to go. So we've probably got 10 miles to go. Getting there. Still doing good, decent speeds, 5 knots, 5.5 knots. Breeze is picking up slowly, but it's tightening up a bit on us too. So anyway, all good. So here you go, you can see on the iPad here, This red outline here is the green zone, the fishing zone. And I've also, if I go back into here, you might see on my files I've got a copy of the Marine Parks maps. That's that point there, that green zone. So we're going from Middle Percy here over to Curlew. You can see it's right on the corner there. So it's really important to make sure if you are trolling lures that you just check what's around you. I've certainly heard plenty of stories of people getting nailed trolling a lure along and going across one of these green zones accidentally and getting pinged and fined. So very important to do that. Just having a little hand steer now. Breeze is in a bit. You can see we've got 12 knots now. Still fairly tight, still at our 60 degrees, but nice boat speed going here now. So only got about 3 or 4 miles to go. Getting there now. Yeah, still got our sort of 60, maybe even a little bit tighter than 60, but it's all good. Take that any day of the week. Just been beautiful sailing. So just on our final approach, little change of plans. We were going to go to the anchorage on the eastern side of the island, but the breeze that was supposed to be northwest is actually pretty much straight north, so I think it's going to be a bit windy in there. We'll get a look into that anchorage once we go around this island here. So this is Curlew Island, and in behind there there's a channel runs through to the eastern anchorage, so we'll get a bit of a look through there in a minute. Sam's up there on whale watch. We just saw another whale out in front here, and just along here along the south side there's an anchorage on the southern side. So there you go. I was going to go into that anchorage. I'm going to go now into that one. This is Curlew Island here, and right in behind there's a whale just cruising on the surface. 2 whales coming out this way. So that's the eastern anchorage in there. This looks like a really nice spot, but I think the breeze might be just getting in there today, so we're going to leave that one alone. Oh, look at the whale just off the tip of the point there. Just started making our way towards the anchorage, leaving those whales. Oh, and there's some more right up in front here. There they are. Whale tail. Usually means they're diving down. Might be a couple there, 2 or 3. A couple of whales just chilling here. We're trying to get over to the anchorage. We can't get over there because these guys are in the way. Go around them. Another mother and calf. Sitting here in the current, just chilling out. Where's it going to come up? Anybody's guess. Oh, just popped up behind us here. Oh, too cool. So we've made it to our anchorage. This is where we're stopping. Got it all to ourselves. Look like we're out fairly wide, but it's quite the bottom looked quite hard and quite rocky on the sounder. So I tried to find a bit of sand to anchor in. This is what we've ended up with, but it's quite a pretty little anchorage. Come over this side, look under the boom. And you can see we're just surrounded by islands. Lots of islands. This is the guardfish group, I believe. there's quite a lot of islands around. You can even see the mainland right over in the distance too. Yeah, not a bad spot. Whale central though. They seem to love these island groups. So we've got a change of venue today. We were on the south side of Curlew Island and now we've moved around to the beach on the east side. So we've got a fairly strong nor'wester blowing today, so once that swung in from the northwest, it was northerly sort of overnight. It wasn't too bad down where we were. Once the nor'wester kicked in, we come around this side because we're thinking that the point to the south in this bay might protect us a little bit from the southerly that's coming through in the middle of the night tonight. Plus it's sand on the bottom here, so we're a little bit concerned over where we were last night, that there was a bit of rubbly sort of hard sort of bottom there. So we're a little bit unsure of our holding and a little bit unsure of getting the anchor up. So you can see the nor'west is blowing pretty fresh out there, out wide. And we're just basically anchored in underneath this big hill. So it's swirling around a little bit both sides of here, but it's not too bad. Just getting a bit of swell coming around the corner though, so she's pretty rocky and rolly. I don't know if you really get the appreciation with the gimbal going here, but yeah, at times we swing around, get side onto a little bit of swell coming around the corner and it's a bit rolly, then it calms down again. It's quite a pretty spot in here though. Not too bad. There's a few fish about. Haven't seen too many whales. Sam said she saw one this morning, but it's been a bit quiet here. Got the wind gear turned off at the moment. We don't want the wind gen cranking away at the moment. The solar's doing the job, so that thing just gets noisy. So, yeah, the plan is tonight, southerly's supposed to come through. It'll be coming through from this sort of direction down here over the top of that hill there. So we're hoping where we are here we'll be okay for a few hours and then we might push off at first light. After our little scare with the whales yesterday, we're not too keen on night sailing at the moment, so we think we might just have a cracker at first light. It's about 6 or 7 hours to run up there to Mackay, depending on what the conditions are like. It's about 40 odd miles, so yeah, we're hoping with the southerly behind us that it won't be too bad. We'll just roll up there nice and easy. I'm getting out of this wind. Fun day, hey pumpkin. Rocking and rolling around. I don't know how well it shows here, but we're side on to the swell here at the moment. Very gnarly. Tide's just turning, right at the bottom of the tide. You can probably see out the back we're not far from the beach either. But we've got bit over 3 metres, 3.5 metres of water. It's just very rocky and rolly. We're hoping when this tide turns it's going to spin our transom around towards the beach and we should be a little bit better off then, but at the moment you can see it's not a lot of swell, but it's right on the side unfortunately, so it just makes it very uncomfortable. Breeze is starting to drop out a little bit. We've just got an unfortunate situation where the breeze is northwest leading up to a southerly change, so there isn't really a very good option here at Curlew. There's nothing that's going to be out of the northwest and also protected from the south. This is probably about as close as we get to it, but unfortunately the downside is we've got swell on the side. So anyway, we've just got to put up with it for 5 or 6 hours, and then when the southerly comes we'll decide how we're going. If we're sitting nicely, hopefully we'll be sitting out from the beach with our transom back out to sea, and it'll be all happy days. If not, we're just going to duck around the corner into the anchorage on the north side, which is only a mile or so away, so it's pretty close by. So it'll be nice and secure in there in the southerly. It's just doing it at night is a bit of a drama. So anyway, it's not all beer and skittles, this cruising stuff. Sometimes you got to put up with the bad stuff as well. gnarly little ocean there today. We left Curlew this morning at about, it was about 7 o'clock. Unfortunately, it was pretty much right on low tide as well, so the tide in this part of the world floods to the south, which is pushing into this southerly that came through last night. Actually a strong wind warning on for today, and yeah, we've had up to probably close to 30 knots I think at times, so a little bit gnarly. We had a clever plan though, we were just going to run with the headsail out today and not worry too much about the main. We thought we'd have plenty of pressure, so we did that. We got it all set up, and then within probably half an hour or so we'd realised that the top of the headsail was flogging around a little bit. Because we still had 4 or 5 hours to go at least of it, we decided we'd try to move the headsail car further forward, and in the process of doing that, letting the pressure off it so we could do it, the headsail flogged itself to pieces. So the headsail is no more. It wasn't a great headsail to start with, probably seen it in the previous videos, but now it's gone to headsail heaven. So we're having to steer. Our autopilot's not working, so it's hand steering. So we're just motoring at the moment. We haven't got the main up, we're just going to motor there, just get it done. It's pretty square running here at the moment, so bit of a tough day. Sometimes you're the windscreen, sometimes you're the bug. Today we're the bug. Yeah, that headsail's not supposed to look like that. That's not good. She's a bit wild and woolly today out here. So we're just coming up to the Hay Point loading facility over here. You can see all the green boats there. They're all freighters out the front waiting to get loaded up. So we've got to try and work our way through there. There's a little exclusion zone just here, so we really want to try and stay outside that one if we can. Just got to work our angle through there. A couple of boats moving as well, so just got to dodge those. So no shortage of ships waiting to get into Hay Point. There's a whole bunch down there in the southern field. And then have a look out here. Plenty of them. Sam's about to hit one up in front. Got about 12 miles to go now to Mackay. Just had a little drama. One of our fuel tanks just ran dry, so I had to get down to do a quick bit of priming. So Sam sailed under bare poles.
In between ships.
Between ships, but anyway, got it started on the other tank. We both thought we had 75 litres showing on the tank this morning when we left. Maybe that wasn't quite correct. Have to have a look at it. Well, you've heard me talking before about our horrible headsail. You know, the one that's all stained and delaminating. Well, it looks even worse now. Have a look at this. Pretty sure it's not supposed to look like that. Not sure that that's just a little bit of a stitching job either, just quietly. I think it might be a bin job. So here we are, all back in Mackay again. It's like our home away from home in Queensland.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. Good feel.
It's been great being back here. We get to catch up with the J-Arm crew, all the guys that live on the J-Arm here at the Marina. They've been looking after the doghouse for us. It's in J11 on here, so yeah, they've been looking after things, running the motor and whatnot for us. So it's good to catch up with them. We had fivesies on here one afternoon, sundowners basically, on the boat. So the guys all got to come over and crawl over the boat a bit, have a bit of a look. The boys all come downstairs here at one stage after a few beers, mind you, and tried to work out our little creaking forage shower problem. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but we've got a bit of a situation where if we get into a bit of a rolly anchorage, where we're rolling side to side, the shower up front there has got a wall that produces some sort of creaking sound. So we tried to work out what was going on with that, because it's quite annoying, right? If you're trying to sleep at night time and it's a really rolly anchorage, it's not great. So yeah, we came up with a couple of cunning plans with that one. Let you know how that all works out. But yeah, no, it's been great. We were lucky enough the guys here were able to also secure us a berth with one of the... You can't see it.
It doesn't matter. You can't do it.
Cut. Start again. What happens off camera stays off camera. That's it.
Sorry. Start again.
Well, obviously, got it in there. Okay. Straight faces. So the guys at the Marina here, they were able to secure us a berth too for a little bit cheaper. A couple of the locals here, Megan and Scott, were off at Shaggers, so they happened to have a berth that was the right size for us to use. So yeah, we were able to sort of get in there. It saved us a few dollars. We just covered their costs while they were away, and yeah, it's a bit of a win-win there. So thanks to Scott and Megan for that. Yeah, so the other thing they were able to do was, as you know, we destroyed our headsail on the way here. So Bert, one of the local boys here, he was able to put us onto a couple of the local sail makers. So we got some quotes, and yeah, we managed to get a headsail ordered. We're probably 4 to 6 weeks away from getting that. So what we've done is actually pinched one of our headsails, our number 2 headsail, off the doghouse. So it's a
bit small.
It's a lot small, probably only about a 3/4 sort of hoist at the front, but it's a headsail. So we'll just use that for a few weeks until we are able to get the new one delivered up here. So that was one of the things we managed to do. So one of the other reasons we had to come into the Marina here was that we want to try and get the doghouse listed with an agent. We've been trying to sell it privately, but it's been a bit slow. So we've decided we're going to list it with the agent. So the local guys here, Peter Hansen Yacht Brokers, are going to list it for us. And one of the things we had to do while we were here was to put all the sails and covers back on the boat. So that was a fun couple of days, you know, dragging everything out from downstairs and having to put all the mainsail and the headsail back on, and all the covers, the bimini, dodger, all that kind of stuff. So, and then we just spent a lot of time just trying to polish the boat up. You know, Sam did a lot of cleaning downstairs, and yeah, I got the polisher out and gave the top sides a bit of a polish up. So yeah, no, it was good that we got in to do that. We hadn't been on board for quite a while, but before we left, we rigged up a couple of fans in the cabins, and also put a few bottles of bleach around, and that's kind of done a pretty good job, really. When we got back on here, we didn't have any mould anywhere. It's worked out really well. So yeah, no, that was a good move, and it was nice to see everything was in good condition. As I said, Dave and Lawrence next door here, they came and ran the motor for us, so we know that was going to be all right. And Mel next door here, she was just popping her head in every now and then and making sure the fans and everything was still going. So no, it was good. It worked out good. But we did have a couple of things we had to fix. One of the little fans we knew had a broken blade in it, so we had to replace that. And we noticed also when we got back on that the joker valve in the toilet was a bit leaky, so I fixed that up. The only other thing we noticed was after we'd been on here for a couple of days doing some cleaning, that we got some water in the bilge, which never happens on this boat. So we had to diagnose that. Turned out there was a crack in one of the hot water lines, so that was a fairly easy fix. Got that sorted out, so now she's all Mickey Mouse again, all ready to go. So it's for anyone that might be in the market for a beautiful 36-foot G4 365 in absolute turnkey condition, then this is the one for you. So have a look on Peter Hansen Yacht Brokers and you'll see it on there. So that was good. We got that sorted out, and we had to do some shopping.
And washing.
And some washing, yeah. So you handled the shopping, didn't you?
And the washing.
And the washing. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of washing, I must admit. But Sam, what did you do? You caught the bus in, didn't you?
Yep, caught the bus out the front of the marina. There's a bus stop. It only comes a couple of times a day, but it's good, cheap. I think it was $4.80 return.
There you go.
That's pretty cheap.
Be cheaper with my seniors card now, which I've only just gotten, but I should have gone and done it. Would have saved us $2.
$2.40.
Beauty. So thanks to old Bill up the road, our neighbour at Mackay here. He ran me out to Bunnings a couple of times, so we did a bit of running around to Bunnings and the boat shops, buy a couple of things, and I think June ran you around a bit too, didn't she?
She did. Yeah, she's lovely. I love June. They're a really, really lovely couple.
Yeah, so it's good to catch up with them as well. And then, so we had to do a bit of that, bit of washing. Sam did a heap of washing. We did have a couple of things posted here as well. We had some parts for our chain counter. We've got this brand new chain counter, which stopped working, but we suspect it's actually the magnet that's in the Gypsy was looking pretty rusty, so we got a new sensor kit sent up. And what else did we get sent? There was something else too. Oh, that's right. We had to get a new transducer for my dinghy fish finder sounder. It had died as well, so we got one of those posted up to the Marina office here. They were nice enough to accept that for us, so we got that done. But the other big ticket item once we got in here was to try and sort out our autopilot, which, as you know, has been playing up a little bit. Our neighbour on the marina there, Dave, he put us onto a fellow named John Kidston from Mackay there, Pioneer Technologies, I think his company's called. He was a lovely bloke, came on board. He was able to pretty much diagnose that the autopilot and the electronics all seemed to be working. So on the marina, when we did the +10, -10 sort of thing on the pilot controller, the rudder was turning, but obviously it wasn't turning when we were under any load, sailing or motoring. So he got in underneath there a little bit and worked out that the hydraulic fluid had been leaking out of our hydraulic ram there. So after a couple of hours of effort, we managed to get the autopilot out and pulled the ram out anyway, and got that sent off to a local company up here at the marina, who we've used before, Mackay Marine Services. They're an excellent company too if you're looking to get something done in Mackay here. So within a few days they had those seals ordered in and reinstalled. So we've just got to wait now for John to get a bit of spare time to pop back on board and help me put it back in, which is going to be a bitch of a job, but we've got to do it. So we've got a pretty nice little weather window coming up, so we're pretty keen to get that. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get that back in and we can get on our way. We're hoping to get out to the reef, out to Credlin Reef, I think we're going to try and get to. Yeah. And we're going to meet up with some friends, Andrew and Claire on Skylark out at Scorefell on the way out there. So that's the plan over the next few days. But we've had a nice little stay here in Mackay. It's always nice to get back on land for a little bit, and particularly here, we know a lot of the people on the marina here, so it's always nice to catch up with them. And they've been really helpful in helping us get through some of our little chores and repairs we had to do. So
Yeah. And Tash also lent me her car to get some last minute groceries, which was really nice.
that's about where we're up to. Tomorrow, hopefully get the autopilot back in, and then hopefully we're on our way again.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So here's today's job. We've got to try and get this autopilot back in. We had to redo the seals up this end of the hydraulic ram. All been done. So just got to go back in. Sounds easy, but I know it's going to be a bitch. Obviously it's a hydraulic setup, and what I've got to do now is get some more oil back into the system. I've just had the seals at this end of the ram fixed. They were basically leaking, so the guys at Mackay Marine Services have fixed that up for me, and now I've got this set up ready to go to re-bleed the system. So basically hydraulic fluid in through here, fill the tank up. We've got a couple of return lines here that are running back in there, and then you can see here I've dodged up a bit of electrical stuff. I'm just running a wire over here to my, this is actually the battery I use in my dinghy. I don't know if you can see it very well there, but I've got my little dinghy battery. So the idea is that you apply some power to the pump, and then what we're going to see is the ram here will extend out and start sucking oil into the ram. So that's what we're expecting to see. Hopefully that's what's going to happen. Morning. Okay, so it looks like a success. No bubbles in the lines here. It's all pumped through, so hopefully we're winning.